minutes left. Big game this weekend. Huge game this weekend. City go to Anfield. What's going to happen, Staffy?
I mean, as we went live, news came out now that Konate's out for like about 5 to 6 weeks. So that's a big hit for them because I think Konate was essential to what they were doing. And now they got to go to Kwanzaa or Joe Gomez, and I think no disrespect to them too, but I think it's a drop off there to what Konate gives in that partnership with Van Dijk. So that's going to be interesting. Especially that you're going against Haaland. I'd rather back Konate kind of doing a job on Haaland than Kwanzaa or Gomez. But I, City have been so bad that I don't think one injury is going to change a lot in this game. We'll probably talk about the Konate injury later in the next few weeks, how it impacts the title race. But within the 90 minutes, City have been so bad that I'm still going to expect Liverpool win. Uh, Liverpool have been amazing. They haven't been conceding a lot of goals. They've been scoring a lot of goals. They've been playing variety of styles. They can give up the ball. They can play on the counter. They can play possession. They can play higher up the pitch. They can play lower block. They've done it all this season, and it's just a testament to how good Arne Slot has been. And a wise man once said that Arne Slot might show that he's the signing of the season. And when I say that wise man, I'm speaking about myself. Yes, I will give myself a pat on the back because I was one of the few people who said that, and so far he's been living up to that. We had people like Mr. 16 out of 10 coming to the stream and saying, "Stop gaslighting us about Arne Slot." And I will tell you this. Yesterday, he was on my stream apologizing. He said, "You know what? You were right." So Liverpool fans are waking up to how good tactically Arne Slot is versus how Klopp was last season. As far as Man City, I'm not gonna lie. No one should be scared of this Man City team right now, and I'm not trying to disrespect what they did over the last few years. That has nothing to do with the three-peat, with the four-peat, with the treble. Has nothing to do with that. That City team is different than what I'm seeing right now. I think the lack of investment is catching up to City. It's an aging squad. The reinforcements have not been there. All the selling of their younger talent like Lavia and Cole Palmer and what's his name, Delap and all these guys, Pedro Porro. I mean, he just scored against them, and he was in their academy, and now it's catching up to them, and they're not looking good at all. They put some of the worst midfields out every week, and people don't speak about it because it's under the name Man City. If any of our teams run out every week and they put out a midfield of Rico Lewis, Gundogan, and I don't know, either Kovacic or Bernardo or whoever's available, we'd all be saying these midfields are not good enough. But because it's Man City, people mask it under that name and they'll call it out for what it is. And this Man City team, it's not a coincidence now that they haven't won in 6. And it's not a coincidence that you look at this picture of Pep right there, and it has a scratch on his face and a scratch on his forehead, because he's never encountered adversity like this. That's a testament to how good he is. He's never went 6 in a row without a win. He's never lost 5 in a row like he did before the last game against Feyenoord. So you can see 3 goals in 15 minutes, an absolute capitulation. You see nothing about the team that was known to be mentality monsters, to be a resilient team when they go down. That City team that went down to Villa on the last game of the season about 2 years ago, and they came back 3-2 and won the league. That team does not exist anymore because most of these guys are not even there anymore, or most of them are just injured and aging. And I expect that absolute demolition job from Liverpool. I expect a lot of demolition jobs actually this weekend. There's so many games where I'm looking at and I'm like, this is going to be a high-scoring weekend. And this is going to be one of them as well. You contain that midfield that doesn't even create anything for Haaland, and you win the game. And I think Arne Slot will put a plan where he just limits the service that Haaland gets. Not to mention that they already have Van Dijk, who I back him to defend one-on-one well versus them anyways. So Liverpool, listen, it's gonna be a tough weekend for City. I expect a lot of goals this weekend against them. They might lose by a high score. We've seen it before.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. I was looking at something earlier. I just want to throw this out before the boys jump in. I was looking. I know Rodri being out is an issue, and I'm not one of these people that thinks that injuries have no impact on how good or bad a team is. But this is on WhoScored.com. So Rodri, Oscar Bob, Stones, Kovacic, and Doku. So 5 players they've got missing, and Doku's doubtful according to them. Connor Bradley, Konate, Tsimikas, Jota. Kieza's not kicked a ball, so we can leave him out for a moment. And Becker, 5. 6 if you include Chiesa. And you could argue that Becker is a huge miss in the same way that Rodri is as an example. Konate, you could compare that to Stones as an example. You know, Conor Bradley being out, it was so good against Mbappe the other day. This isn't just about injuries. This is about a manager finding a way and a manager finding a solution. And I was a little bit horrified to see what Pep had done to his face. I know he made a joke about it and everything else, and I'm not talking. I don't think he's at risk to himself when he's sitting at home. And fingers crossed, and I pray that he isn't. But he is so stressed and he can't find a solution at the minute. This man is digging the skin out of his head. And I said it on Wednesday, and I'll say it again now. I've seen my manager, my GOAT, in Fergie, go through seasons where he's lost his greatest player. Cantona when he kicked racism out of football. Keane when he did his cruciate knee. The season after we did the three-peat, after the treble, we went for a period where I think we only won one in sort of 5 Premier League games, and we were looking really poor and we had problems. And in each of those seasons, we may not have gone on to win the league because there's never a guarantee for that. But what Fergie did in every single one of those seasons, he got us back to being competitive. And that is what I'm looking at Pep Guardiola to do. You are a great manager. You are a supreme manager. But this is the first adversity of this level he's ever faced in his career. I'm now watching how he handles it, because for me, to be as great as he is professed to be, as great as I think he is, I expect him to find a solution to make them competitive. And I would say, by and large, in the last 6 to 7 games, they have not been anywhere near competitive enough for a team as good as theirs. That all being said, how's it going to go, Don?
Yeah, listen, I think Staffy covered a lot of what I was going to say. I think Liverpool, Slot's going to be rubbing his hands at the prospect of playing these lot, because as much as Konate is injured, they can actually put out a balanced lineup, bro. Their midfield is more balanced than them right now. Their attack is scoring more goals than them right now. Obviously, Salah's got majority of their goals, but end of the day, that's like Man City. Haaland gets most of their goals, but they've got different avenues. They've got Diaz that can score. They've got Gakpo that can chip in. They've got Salah. And is Jota back yet, or is he still injured?
Yeah, I think he's still out.
He's still injured, yeah. Obviously, like I said, their midfield is
even Nunes, bro.
So yeah, I think it's going to be, if Man City manage to beat Liverpool, I think that's going to be really impressive. Obviously, Arsenal will be, even us, Chelsea and Arsenal will be happy about that result, because it means that we're sort of bridging that gap between us and Liverpool. But I just don't see how Man City win this game, in all honesty, man. I look at both teams and I just see more balance with Liverpool right now. More form, more confidence. They're playing at Anfield. Yeah, they're going to win this game, in my opinion.
Yeah, Lawless, do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think. I think it's one of them things where we expect Liverpool to steamroll Man City, but I can see it being a bit of a nervy one. I think Liverpool know how important this game is. So I think it's one of them ones where Liverpool will have their chances, but I think they'll take quite a while to score. Because I think Pep's going to come into it knowing he's the underdog. So I expect him to have some sort of game plan, but I don't think it will be enough. Right, Liverpool right now, Salah is just on a different level. It's crazy, like what that man has done in his career. And like Don said, they've got options to score everywhere. Whereas Haaland, you need to create for him, and no one really else is going to. He's going to do it. He's going to put the goal in the back of the net. So, yeah, honestly, I could easily see this being a 2-0, like a 2-0 Liverpool, like comfortable one, and which will be, honestly, even though Man City are in disarray, that's a big result for Liverpool if they win, because then they go 8? Is it 8 points clear if they win this, or
they're 8 right now? They go 11.
They would go 11.
They got 11 points.
And it will be massive. It's a massive weekend as well, Terry, when you're talking about obviously the title race and that, like I said, because Arsenal and Chelsea can both go ahead of Man City this weekend. You know what I'm saying? And then who have they got after that? Man City after they play Liverpool?
That's a good question. Let's look.
Go check, please. Check who they've got after that, right? But we can knock them off.
They got Forest at home.
They play Forest, yeah? Okay, so yeah, we can finish this weekend, both of us, ahead of them. That's massive.
When they got Forest, then they got United and Villa. And in between that, they got Juventus in the Champions League.
Shit. These games are not getting any easier for them. You know what I mean? So, yeah, listen, Liverpool, I think they're going to win the game. And hopefully Chelsea get their job done as well, so we can go above these guys, man.
I actually have a prediction to make, if you don't mind. I think if City don't win this game, they're closer to a top 4 race than they are to the title race.
Of course.
And I'll happily predict that. I'll confidently predict that as well.
Well, you think we'll be a top 4 for them this year?
If they lose this game, they're closer. I'm not saying they will be in the top 4 race, but they are closer to a top 4 race than they are to a title.
Would you say the same about Chelsea and Arsenal, who would be just 1 point ahead of them?
I think Arsenal are about to kick up a little bit. Chelsea, the reason I don't want to put expectations on Chelsea is because I understand the idea of a new manager coming in and a younger squad that doesn't have the experience in being in a title race. Like, let's just face it, this Chelsea squad hasn't been there yet. Their fans know how it is to be in a title race, but the players aren't. So I don't want to put too much expectation. I expect them still to go through rough patches in the season, Chelsea. They'll have some good times and some bad times. I think Arsenal are going to be closer to Liverpool. I think City don't win this game. I think they're closer to a top 4 race.
No, I think there's some truth in that. This year from Mafio says also City have been unlucky. They're underperforming their XG. That is true. And this is what I've been saying for a few weeks now, though. But are they underperforming it because of bad luck? Or are the likes of Doku and Grealish that hasn't scored in 2024, Savio that's not scored all season, Foden that's having a stinker of a campaign by his standards, they're not underperforming it because of bad luck or goalkeepers having great saves. They're underperforming it because these men don't score. Their front line, barring Haaland, if they fall into a barrel full of boobies, they come out sucking their thumb. And that needs to be... this is not just a Rodri problem, in my opinion.
No, but even Haaland, Terry, the last couple games, Haaland's been missing a lot of shots.
No, he has. But this is what happens, though. Haaland is missing opportunities like every great goal scorer has ever gone through. But it's not on Haaland. It's on the others to step up and put the ball in the... if you go back and look through Thierry Henry's time, considered by many to be the GOAT of the Premier League. If you look at Andy Cole, you look at Alan Shearer, you look at any of these great strikers, they've all gone through barren periods. But the point is, it's about other people stepping up. This here says Fergie never played against this Arsenal or Liverpool team. He played against a better Arsenal team. He played against a great Chelsea team under a number of occasions. He played against great Liverpool teams in the early 90s. He
played against the best Chelsea team and the best Arsenal team in
their club's history. Yeah, let's just not do any of those crazy things. I have a question quickly for Lawless. Why do you hate Arsenal?
I've always hated Arsenal. Grew up in East London, glory hunting Arsenal fans. Some of the fan base is insufferable, without going into it deeper than that, that is what it is, man.
It is what it is. Arsenal with 98% fit squad will smash West Ham. Put your money on Arsenal, Terry, is what DJ.
Oh, bro, Terry was putting his money on Arsenal even when they were playing shit, bro. What are we doing here?
I wasn't. Arsenal, though, made me some good money in the last. I did bet on them winning. I put a handicap bet on it. I don't want them in age where I put them. I think I put them handicap down by 2. So essentially, they start on the bet. They start off 2-0 down against Sporting. So they won.
Every time Arsenal score, I always think of my man, that guy that was at Southampton, Ralph. Is it the manager that when he does that celebration? Every time Arsenal score, he's like.
I'll be honest with you. Like I've always been since I've been running the football terrace. Like depending on what's going on with the fan base, what's going on with the club, them scoring or conceding goals always has. I remember a few Christmases ago, and I remember when Chelsea played Arsenal on Boxing Day, and the whole day I was like, "It's going to be a Christmas present for us all." Chelsea are going to smash. I was so excited because whenever Arsenal lost, it was just the online discourse was amazing at that point. So when they was conceding, I used to love it. But when you guys lost that day, I remember thinking, I felt gutted because I wanted to crush them on Boxing Day because my team were rubbish, which is all the reason why I said it was scaring me when they became good again, because Arsenal were a team for about 5 years that made everyone look at them rather than my club when we were struggling. And it was a nice feeling. So, yeah, I'm a bit agenda-driven like that.
Have you overcome your fear of Arsenal, Terry? Have you overcome that fear?
Not a little bit since Ruben's come in, but it's where you are. And again, but my agendas don't impact my analysis. That's what I will say. I feel positive. We are playing much more cohesively. I can see progress even from the Ipswich game. That is good to see. Big up Patrick Lynch.